Gerrard Capashen is the biggest hero Dominaria has ever seen. He's got inhuman strength, unmatched fighting skills, incredible charisma, and sharp intellect. Some could think that he's some kind of a superhuman, and they wouldn't be wrong. Gerrard Capashen is the result of Planeswalker Urza's eugenic experiments, the pinnacle of a bloodline created for the purpose of protecting Dominaria from Yawgmoth during his inevitable invasion. But right now, Gerrard is having a crisis. His best friend, the elf Rofellos, got killed by Gallowbraid during a quest Gerrard and the Weatherlight crew were on. He was part of Dominaria's Defenders, a company consisting of unchallenged champions, some of them members of Urza's bloodline experiment just like Gerrard. He chose to retire from saving the world, as his legacy was only bringing him misery. The legacy was more than just the fame his heroic acts led him to. He was given that role at birth along with a collection of artifacts, one of them a living automaton, the silver golem Karn. One of Urza's grandest creations, Gerrard's protector and friend. But Karn is as mentally broken with grief as Gerrard, sworn to never kill a living being after unintentionally taking a child's life when using his gargantuan strength while fighting Vuul, Gerrard's biggest enemy and former blood brother. Volrath, as he calls himself now, is the Evencar of Rath, a plane artificially created by the Phyrexians to aid them in invading Dominaria. It was not clear how he attained such an important role as the servant of Yawgmoth, a demon-like creature with powers beyond a planeswalker's, who is the ruler of the Phyrexians. But now, the old friends need to reunite to save their comrade Sisay. She has been abducted by Volrath to lure Gerrard into this dreadful realm as part of his master plan for vengeance. The Banalish warrior will rejoin the pacifistic silver golem Karn, the most handsome minotaur in Tal'Rum, Tangarth, the ship navigator Hannah, a cat warrior Miri, their healer Orim, and the goblin cabin boy Squee on a rescue mission. They reconvene on the flying artifact ship Weatherlight, joined by Krovax, who is in search of Selenia, a creation that was his family's protector, created by Yawgmoth to mimic a Seren angel warrior with the same name. It is unclear what type of being Selenia is and what role she played protecting Krovax's family, but the moment Krovax freed her of her duty, she returned to Yawgmoth. Krovax, who fell in love with her, decided to come to Rath and find her. The whole gang got directions from Stark, the traitor that brought them into this mess in the first place, who, oh the irony, now needed help himself in saving his daughter Takara from clutches of Volrath. Stark was responsible for Vuul's failure during his coming-of-age ritual that made the young warrior a disgrace to his people. He poisoned Vuul's drink so that he would not be able to complete it while intoxicated, possibly falling to his death while climbing. His blood brother Gerrard was there to save his life, but assisting someone in the ritual was the ultimate insult, and Vuul would prefer to have died there than being dishonored. From that day he was obsessed with making Gerrard's life a living hell, and Yawgmoth, knowing how precious Gerrard was for Urza, had some plans for Vuul's future career. Going to Rath was a suicide mission, and even though Hannah was Master Wizard Baron's daughter, he refused to assist. They did get a cocky, arrogant, and overly confident young wizard Ertai to help them. Soon they were on their way in their flying ship, making it to Rath through a portal seemingly forgotten by the Phyrexians that Ertai was able to activate. Keyword here, seemingly. Rath was a land created out of flowstone. The flowstone could be shaped to take any form, and it was being produced at the stronghold for probably centuries now, slowly expanding Rath. The idea was that the artificially created landscape would get heavier and heavier, and at some point it would partially overlay over the plane of Dominaria, along with Rath's inhabitants ready to invade. Physics. For Yawgmoth, this was all grand entertainment. He created and directed a spectacle that required centuries to complete. Watching Urza's attempts to prepare was like watching his favorite reality show, his champions usually being some of the most eccentric characters. Volrath's issues manifesting into the plan of luring his object of obsession into Rath had potential for a pretty great episode. As Gerrard and his gang arrived in the unwelcoming plane, they were immediately welcomed by Volrath's own flying artifact ship, the Predator. Its captain, Greven Ilvek, was instructed to show how little Gerrard's superhuman fighting skills meant against a Phyrexian super being. Not a monster though, an actual person who had been physically altered into a mixture of augmented flesh and metal. His horrid appearance and ruthlessness successfully covered the fact that Greven was one of the good guys, although pragmatic and couldn't really object to following orders with an artifact implanted in his spine that caused immeasurable pain in case he refused to do Volrath's bidding. The duel was nothing less than spectacular, and who knows what would happen the moment Gerrard lost to Greven. Would he and his crew be escorted to the stronghold without any further violence? Greven didn't get a chance to defeat his opponent though, because a traitor in his ranks made an assassination attempt on him that moment, without success. Vati Ildal didn't want to help the Weatherlight team. He wanted Greven dead. Unfortunately for him, the projectile didn't hit the right target. Even worse, it made Gerrard fall overboard from a ship hanging high in the skies, to his likely demise. Greven's crew quickly aborted the mission, picked up pieces of Gerrard's artifact legacy along with Karn, went back to regroup and to punish a certain Vati. At the same time, taking an uninvited guest on board and leaving the baffled Weatherlight crew behind. What happens after that? Did Gerrard survive the fall? Will Tangarth succeed in his undercover mission? Find out in the next episode of MTG Lore Stronghold. So be sure to subscribe and you'll get notified soon after I will have uploaded it. Until then.